Be more grind, rise, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like bricks. Motown soul rap mixed in the fix. Tiny cover spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the folder. Black biz bright spotlight in the dark. Hustling hard, lighting sparks in the park. Be more new, where we breaking glass ceilings. All black every day, income healing. Donnie Glover, flip the script. Let's go, Black Wall Street roadmap. Be more flow, real talk, stock rise. Dreams ain't looking hollow. Blueprints, handshakes, enemies wallow. Baltimore kings, queens, crown on the throne. Legacy built, stone by stone. Headlines, deadlines, moves in the background. Politics, money clips, elevate the town. Black beard strategist, wealth can't be missed. Twist the plot, make the whole world twist. Be more news, success we inhaling. Victories, IRS, no detailing. Donnie Glover, rise to shine, let's glow. Focused on
GDP is $23 trillion. 23
Be more grind, rise, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like bricks. Spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Abdul Salaam, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Great morning. Great morning it is.
Yeah, it is, man. How you been?
Blessed. Blessed up from the chest up, chest out, chin up. And yourself?
Head to the sky, no need to cry, because ain't nobody going to listen no way.
Oh, man, Donnie, I'm in the business of listen. I got to listen to you, good brother.
Where is K.E.Y.S development?
K.E.Y.S development, we are on a mission with our head down focused. And some would say tunnel vision. And that brings me to our praise tunnel that we're going to do for our youth this coming Tuesday. That's April 22nd. That is one of our immediate engagements that we're having, Donnie. That'll be at the Old Lamel for Bard High School at 2801 Duplin, the praise tunnel, bringing our young people back from spring break. And just to give you a quick glimpse and insight of the importance for us of praise tunnels, we strategically and purposefully do them outside of back to school. And reason being, Donnie, our young people down, they go back to school with 5 book bags, 20 notebooks, 1,000 pens and pencils, right? And then after the year gets rolling, they kind of lose that energy from the community, that engagement. And we purposely want to have our young people have that energy infused, pumped into them throughout the school year. This particular praise tunnel was for spring break, bringing them back to finish that 4th quarter of the school year strong, going into the summer. So we want to engage with them, and we'll have a community conversation after that praise tunnel.
When?
That will be April 22nd, Tuesday, April 22nd, returning from spring break. That'll be from 7:15 until 8 o'clock. 7:15, 8 o'clock, 2801 Duplin, the Old Lamel.
Listen, we got to get a flyer up on bemorenews.com. Can you forward me a flyer?
Absolutely. I'll do you one better. I'll send you an Eventbrite where folks can actually register, leave some contact information so that we can also engage with you and follow up with you after this event for community engagement.
Okay, let me ask you. You say you're having it at Lamel. Do you know anything about Lamel?
So it's not Lamel, it's the old Lamel, which is now Bard. It's the campus where you have Bard High School, Connection Performing Arts High School, as well as MAPS, which is a middle school alternative school.
Well, I think I'm a little bit older than you, right?
I think you got me by a couple. You would have a couple more grades up there if you wasn't so clean, Donnie.
Well, you got to be clean, but I got to tell you, Lamel is Lamel. And if you went there when I went there, you can rename it whatever you want. After what we saw there,
yes, sir.
William Hugo Lamel, the only school in Baltimore you can spell frontwards and backwards the same way. Lemmel, the Lamel lines. And that was some tough real estate. Abdul, you better know somebody if you go to Lamel. You better travel in a group.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Some thick culture there, and we're trying to assure to lament that and cement that in today's current trajectory. So we're real attached to that community, and we need you, Donnie.
Well, I got to tell you, man, a shout out to Mr. Murphy. Mr. Murphy was the most colorful principal in all of Baltimore City. His hair he had like straight hair. And he stood out front, come on in. But I got to tell you, every day after school, it was like HBO, bro. It was like Showtime.
It was always live, huh, Donnie?
You better have a jab.
I know. Well, we're trying to change that energy just a little bit, but the energy and culture is just as strong. And shout out to Principal that you just mentioned, and I want to assure that you are also associated and very familiar with Executive Bond at Bard and Principal Brooks at Connections and Principal Wilson at Mats, because they're really doing it right now for our young scholars, holding the flag high in that 1-5 community. They really doing some great stuff over there, Donnie.
No, it's a lot of great history up in there. A lot of great people came through there. What comes to mind is where we are today, 2025. You from West Baltimore?
I'm from East Baltimore, but
that ain't what the bio said. The bio had you listed as a West Sider.
I'm a East Sider, Donnie, but I I'm for one Baltimore, and I got a lot of bones in West Baltimore as well.
No, we ain't putting you out. What part of East Baltimore?
I'm from 39 area, Donnie.
39. It's like help me out. Hollander Ridge.
I'm over off York Road.
Northeast. McCabe
There we go.
Avenue.
I'm northeast over off York Road.
Yeah, that's some tough real estate. You better know somebody over there. I used to live on St. George's years ago.
Absolutely.
Apartments.
If you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, York Cater. You're taking it.
An IHOP up there. I'm telling on myself now, the IHOP right there, just above Cold Spring. But that's, of course, the general neighborhood of Morgan State, going towards, you got Morgan Park up there. Did you know about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 25th Street, Calvert, Greenmount.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It get dark. It can get dark. It gets spooky.
Especially them cats on Bel Air Road and Harford Road.
If you know, you know, for sure.
Baltimore's a beautiful place, man. Why do you do what you do, Abdul?
I do what I do because I feel there was a void when I was a young person. When I was a young man, I had a very inquisitive mind, explorative mind, and just motivated, and didn't really have the right avenues and channels of folks and resources to pull me along and guide me through some of those thoughts and ideas that I wanted to bring to fruition. And, not to cry over spilt milk and spilled beans, because, those things build character as well, right? With that being said, I know that with help, with resources, with gentlemen such as that shared the same energy as myself, who had more wisdom, I could have been a lot further, a lot faster. And there's nothing wrong with hurdle help. There's nothing wrong with guidance and mentors and mentee relationships. So that's something that I yearned for. And not to say that I didn't have mentors or mentees, because the ones that I did have were very important, instrumental in my development as well. But there were just, again, certain voids that individuals in my direct community just weren't able to help me with, having money. Folks didn't have money, so financial literacy just wasn't a thing. It was more like financial emergencies, and just, doing what you could with what you had. And, just trying to help shape minds a lot earlier, even when it comes to political mindset. And one of the things, mindsets that we try to assure that our young scholars, our young people are aware of, is that politics is not red and blue. They're not Democrat and Republican. Well, they're straight down the middle. They're brown and green, right? And that's about having an agenda for your community, a direct agenda for your community, and whichever party decides to support that. And the first step is just being aware of your local politics, knowing your councilmen and, what type of bills are on the table for your direct street and your direct neighborhood, whether it's a library or filling a pothole, those small things. So we just want to make sure our young people understand that, Donnie.
What was the turning point in your life? Wow.
There's so many turning points, and I could point to so many, and I'll sum it up by saying that at some point, as a young Black man, a light bulb went off in my head, and I came to the realization that I'm lucky to be in the situation that I'm in and have the opportunities that I have. And what I mean by that is that I didn't have a felony. I did not have a felony on my record, right? So many of my friends, close friends, had felonies, or what they call an F on their chest. I was in a situation where I had my parents and still alive, whether how much and where our relationships were, they were alive. And that was, again, a light bulb in my head. Wow, this friend of mine, this cousin of mine don't have either parent, one parent. And I'm talking about as a young man, right? I'm talking about as an 18, 19-year-old young man. So some of these light bulbs went off in my head, and I said, you know what? You got to figure something out. And that just made me, at the time, I didn't figure it out. When the light bulb goes off, I didn't figure it out, but it went off enough in my head to say, you know what, you're lucky, and you need to figure out and put a plan together that's different. And I always felt that I was different.
Lucky or blessed?
Both. Because I'm a true person in my thinking that sometimes, in order to count our blessings, we have to understand that we are lucky. Some things are just not within our fortune, and we have to understand our opportunities to seize them.
Around the age of 15, I broke law, and there was a program called pretrial intervention. And Mr. Eddie Harrison ran it down on St. Paul Street. And I thank God for that program and any program that's out here that can intervene in the lives of our young Black men. Of course, you know, America represents 5% of the world population, but we have 25% of the incarcerated persons. Nearly 40% are Black men, and Black women are the fastest growing demographic. Programs like yours, from what I know, help reverse that trend.
Absolutely.
Who knew growing up that people standing on the corner with cocaine and heroin, crack cocaine, who knew that we were being terrorized, we were being traumatized? It is not normal. Even though I grew up early years north in Greenmount, the hole up there off of 20th Street was not normal. People shooting drugs intravenously is not normal. Even though the jails all up and down Greenmount, from the penitentiary back in the day to Supermax today, that is not normal. And you're built your facility now. You're in West Baltimore. You're not far from Poplar Grove.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're even closer to what we used to call Chocolate City.
Yes, sir.
What do you offer those young people there?
So, one, I'd be remiss if I did not talk about the work that we're doing in cohesion with Morgan State University. Because Morgan State University is where that light bulb went off for me.
Ah, not the bridge.
Right? The light bulb went off for me, Donnie. And to be able to connect at this time with a Black scholastic institution to do the work that we're doing is healing for me, right? Because what I know is that without Black institutions, scholastic institutions, all the work that yourself and that I do will not be sustained and documented with the narrative that it should be in 30, 50, 60, 100 years from now. So kudos to you and the work that you're doing. And it's, again, institutions such as Morgan and Coppin that will document this work. The work that you're asking about. We're working with Morgan State's Violence Reduction Department and Violence Research Department with Madam Mayor Pugh, Dr. Nesbitt, and some other significant individuals. We're doing some real great work, Donnie, and you'll see that we're bringing youth along with that, right? Youth from all different generations, right? Of course, the academia. Our young people that are doing the study and the application of the work, but not only that, right? So we have youth ambassadors at a high school level that are working on violence reduction and growing their ambassadorship throughout the city. They have 2 current projects that they're working on. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, as well as all of the viewers, please pull out your phone and like their page to grow their narrative, help them grow their platform of violence reduction amongst youth in Baltimore City. They are K.E.Y.S Youth Ambassadors. That is their IG page, K.E.Y.S Youth Ambassadors. They have 2 projects in which they're working on specifically to reduce violence amongst youth. One is they're holding communal conversations around meals and food. Okay. So they have They're doing a food critic piece where they go into different restaurants and they're having conversation in what it takes to grow ambassadorship and why breaking bread is therapeutic for us and how that helps us develop family. That's one project. Another project is also that they participate in music therapy, in which they vet talent at different high schools through project is called Bar Exam. They vet talent at different high schools, bring this talent together, participate in music therapy with a clinical therapist and a current recording artist, a proven recording artist, so that they can learn how to develop their own positive narratives. And then they finish this in a recording studio. They finished the project in an actual recording studio. So on so many levels, we're bringing them resources to develop their talents and also to grow their platform for violence reduction. At the end of the project, the music therapy project, we bring them together and they do their own concert to display their talent. Doni, we would love to have you there to broadcast the talent, to interview the talent. Whether it's about their own individual artistry or the music therapy bar exam itself. So those are a couple projects in cohesion, again, with Morgan State, social work, violence reduction research department, as well as Baltimore City public schools that we're working on directly for violence reduction in that community. And then we're working on the Hill and Village, the 5-acre project right there in 1511 Ashburton on the cusp of Coppin State. Yeah, we didn't forget West Side, Scholastic Institution. It's one Baltimore. It's one Black. It's one HBCU family. Yeah, we pulling this thing together. It's been too long of the days of John Hopkins monopolizing the research and development of what's going on in Black Baltimore. And we look to take that by the helm and do some significant work, Doni.
You said a lot there. I'm glad to hear about Coppin because that's just up the street from where you are. And you're right, it is one Baltimore. Who are the professors currently helping from Morgan?
We have Dr. Nesbitt. We have Dr. Michael Smith and Dr. McFadder and several others that are a part of. Yes.
I'm glad to hear this. Do you work at all with Dr. Kevin Daniels and the School of Public Health? You have other allies up there. And
absolutely. Not directly on this project and research yet.
Okay.
Yet. But I know Dr. Daniels is part of the We Are Us development and movement. And we are very connected from that perspective. I'm very connected with Dr. Daniels. Absolutely. And I know that he will participate as we build this project and research moving forward.
What can people do to help, and how do we replicate it?
Great question, Doni. First thing you can do is tap in and be a part of the community conversations that we're having, where we're building the network as we should, so folks can see where they can be significant, and we can cross-pollinate amongst each other to do the groundwork, in which we're already doing, and we don't want to pull folks from doing the organic work that they're already doing, but just connect you with family that are doing similar work and heighten their movements.
Is there another program like K.E.Y.S development?
I'm sure there are plenty mental health programs, therapeutic programs But I'm not sure if there's any quite like K.E.Y.S.
I like your answer. That's nice and humble. The mental health component.
Yes, sir.
You know, we're having an event for Freddie Gray at Sharon Baptist Church on April 27th. I remember when it all went down, the one thing I didn't see on North Avenue after the unrest, the riots, or what have you, I wanted to see about 50 Winnebagos up and down North Avenue with therapists in it.
I love your mindset, Donnie. So one, just to go back to 2013, you know, the Freddie Gray situation is very near and dear to me. In 2013, police tried to kill myself with my son 17 days prior to killing Tyrone West, right? The same officers that attempted to take my life actually did take Tyrone's life 17 days later with the same tactics, right? So fast forward to Freddie Gray, in which that day of Freddie Gray, we were at the old Lamel, right? Doing what we do, programming in school, therapeutic programming, and Principal Brooks, myself, as well as other faculty, tried to dismiss our youth in an adequate time and in a safe way that day to get home. And I left out, you know where the old Lamel is, you know what Connections is, right there in the heart of the fire, if you will, where everything set off and took place. So while we weren't on North Avenue with therapists, I will reassure you that we were very active in the community therapeutic. One, on the boots on the ground, right, on front line, physically, trying to ensure that our youth made it home and got out of harm's way.
Big bro, let's stop right there.
Yes, sir.
Now, that all kicked off at Mondawmin subway. They closed down the subway.
Pennsylvania Avenue and Liberty Road.
They closed down the subway. They did not tell the principal of Douglas.
Or Connections. Remember, you got 3 schools right there on that campus. Those same students walk right there too, of the old Lamel, right? Now you got 3 schools, you got 3 high schools in there. You know how big it is. So you got Douglas and the 3 high schools of old Lamel all coming to Mondawmin. I don't want you to forget that, because you went to Lamel. You know how big that facility is. They often just say to Douglas students that you got another 600 students coming out of the old Lamel building, right?
Walking up Gordon's Falls.
Yeah, 600 coming from old Lamel, another 450, 500 coming from Douglas, right?
They get to the subway, it's shut down.
Subway shut down. Grand Central Station, if you know.
The news reported the rioters are coming down Pennsylvania Avenue. Baltimore mainstream media reported that. I live 2 blocks from the avenue. I went over to the avenue, jetted over there. Who do I see? Because I'm looking for rioters. That's what the mainstream media said. And this was around the time that President Obama said he called the rioters thugs. I get over there and I see teeny boppers with Oxford button-down shirts and khaki pants. I said, they are babies.
Don't forget one thing. We also saw riot police already.
At Mondawmin.
The riot police were already out, formulated. Yeah. Shield mask, riot gear, baton. Yeah. Whole thing, gas guns, whole thing. That's what shocked me. That's what shocked me. And quite honestly, I feel like that's what excited the confrontation. Yeah.
As well as some rude drivers that came through that area, not necessarily black, who felt privileged, and they were met with resistance.
Absolutely.
Once that started, once you go poking the bear gonna clap back.
Absolutely.
We're gonna be talking about this on the 27th, and we need to have you there at Sharon Baptist Church. We're gonna invite you right here, right now, to be on that panel. We've got activists coming from the entire area, and this will be a Sharon Baptist Church, historic Sharon Baptist Church, with ACD Vaughn. This is Stricker and Pressman.
I would love to be there, Donnie. Let's work out those details following the show.
What do you have coming up next?
April 22nd, Tuesday, April 22nd. We need you guys out. Come support the youth. Come support the scholars. We have the K.E.Y.S Praise Tunnel from 7:15 to 8 a.m. 7:15 to 8 a.m. April 22nd at the Old Lamel, 2801 Dukeland. We're going to welcome back bars, scholars. Come on out. We know that y'all do before the school year starts. We know that. Our babies need you now. They've been struggling. They had the cold winter to go to school. Everybody's sneakers not new. Some people not finishing up strong. They don't have those resources. Come tap in. You want a school to tap into, students to tap into. You don't know where and when and how to do it. Come use this platform. Come use K.E.Y.S development to do that. We're going to show you how that's done at the Old Lamel Bar High School, 7:15 a.m. to 8 a.m. April 22nd, Tuesday, April 22nd.
How do you reach your alumni?
Alumni of...
That's one thing we've been seeing. Like one thing Edwin Avon does over at Baltimore Collegiate School for Boys, he reaches out to some of the organizations like Black Professional Men, some of the graduates of the school, also community leaders.
Are you asking how we reach out to alumni of K.E.Y.S development, like after you go on? Our young people stay connected. So we have young people that are working at Bar now, that are working at Connections, that used to go to Connections. We have young people that wanted to be lawyers that we connect with our attorney David Bowie, through attorney LaToya Taylor. So, you know, we say that we don't bring our young people back to Baltimore. We keep our young people in Baltimore, going to scholastic institutions such as Morgan and Coppin, and they never leave. Yeah, they right here the whole time, connecting and entrenched in the community. I told you we teaching a different type of politic, you know. So we expect to have some young councilmen coming out of our breeding grounds, out of our regime in the next 5-10 years. You know, we expect to have a young councilman at 25 and things of that sort.
This has been about your third reference to elected officials. Why is that important to you? And it's refreshing. Let me just tell you, as a political analyst, it is refreshing to hear this.
For sure.
You know, is home to many people who have served over the years. The late Howard Pete Rawlins, think of Tony Fulton, people who have gone on, Agnes Welch. It is refreshing to hear about the political angle because, quite frankly, the Black community gets used a lot by politicians. Our negative socioeconomic factors in 21215, 21216, 21217, 21205. Oh, we're here. We're going to do this. You know, we get painted in a certain light the city gets money for our communities that we never even see.
Sure. So, well, what we do know is that policy is where so many decisions are made, right? And again, I told you the type of young man I was, and still, I'm still a young man, and I'm still that type of thinker, right? And what you learn is that, again, when you are a thinker, a visionary, there are often roadblocks that you meet. And often at the end of the vision are policy, right? Or laws or jurisdiction that you have to either learn and or change. So again, just trying to be a forward thinker and either understand and or comply with rules and or jurisdiction to get plans completed, agendas completed is a very important mindset so that we don't get frustrated.
Are there any new schools in West Baltimore? Baltimore brags about 21st century schools. Are there any new schools, any new recreation centers in your immediate vicinity? Because what they will tell you is that, oh, we had to close the school. There weren't enough young people, blah, blah, blah. Are there any new schools, any new recreation facilities in the past 20 years in your immediate area?
No.
It's a damn shame. So really, these politicians do a lot of talking.
They got one in Park Heights.
That's a damn shame. All of West Baltimore,
right.
All of the murders, all of the shootings, all of the stabbings. They tend to put these schools in neighborhoods where we not at.
That's right. Well, Donnie, I tell you again.
One last thing. They got
sure.
Hill
and Village, K.E.Y.S Hill and Village.
No. They got a new recreation center at K Hill.
Blessings. I'm telling us that we are working on K.E.Y.S Hill and Village at 1511 Ashburton. I want to put that in the air.
How many of your young people go to K Hill?
I don't know.
They don't. They put these things in places where we're not. Where we are, where we need stuff, why can't they?
That's in the back of Gwen. That's in the back of Gwen. That's in the back of Gwen. Lincoln Park, right? K-Hill.
They got a new joint all the way down in Cherry Hill. Nice. But what about West Baltimore?
Right. For sure. Gotta make it happen. We're gonna make it happen, Donnie. I'm telling you, K.E.Y.S, we're working on the 5-acre facility, the K.E.Y.S Hill and Village. We should be breaking ground in the next 6 months. We need you there. And that's gonna be a state-of-the-art facility.
We have to demand more from these elected officials.
And we're not hiding it. And it's not gonna be far.
Here's where your elected officials are. You want me to show you where they at?
Where they at, Don? On the phone. Taking pictures, selfies.
That's your damn elected officials.
That's not gonna do it. Not gonna get it done. I get it.
We got to get the word out there. Is there a website
yes.
for people to go to, RSVP?
Absolutely. You can go to Eventbrite, K.E.Y.S Praise Tunnel 2025. K.E.Y.S Praise Tunnel 2025. You can go to the K.E.Y.S Youth Ambassadors page. K.E.Y.S Youth Ambassadors. Follow K.E.Y.S Youth Ambassadors. And we need you at the Praise Tunnel. Register for the Praise Tunnel through Eventbrite. K.E.Y.S Praise Tunnel 2025.
What is K.E.Y.S Praise Tunnel?
Again, K.E.Y.S Praise Tunnel is a time that we like to inflict the energy into the youth and create community engagement. So many times we have community members that just don't know when, where, and how to connect with our youth and our peers. Our youth and our scholars in schools, which is one of the most important times to connect with them. So this is an opportunity that we provide community members to actually come out into a school, connect with the youth on a very surface level where they can congratulate them and champion them on finishing out their school year strong. Or you can even be a part of our career day or community conversation that we have that follows the praise tunnels so that they can actually engage with you and see what a media reporter is, a media connoisseur is, so they can find out and understand what it is to have your CDLs, what it is to be an elected official, what it is to be an entrepreneur, what it is to be a firefighter, an attorney, right? So when all of these different community members come out to champion them, our scholars, then we have a opportunity afterwards that follows where they can actually engage and have conversation. Because what me and you know is that if I don't know it, if I can't see it and believe it, I won't achieve it. Right. So if I don't know what these professions are, I'm going to go with the ones that are at my fingertips. We want to make sure that they know that they can come be an anesthesiologist and make $150,000 a year, that they can be what it is to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is not just saying I want to work for myself now. It means you got to work a 70-hour week and what that looks like and feels like. It's no school just to be an entrepreneur. So they can actually touch us as Black men, Black women, kings and queens, and understand what we're doing in the community to be successful.
Or they can run a nonprofit like K.E.Y.S Development.
Or they can run a nonprofit like K.E.Y.S, which is not easy, right? People think they hear nonprofit, but to actually know how to receive money, right? To find money and receive it, and do your due diligence on what you're supposed to do to maintain your status as a nonprofit. It's just not a rolling out of bed type of ordeal.
How many years has it been?
We've been running for 11 years now, Donnie.
So that means you have an accountant or several accountants.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely, and several audits. We have several audits during the year. Not had several audits. We may have to have 2 or 3 audits per year
to show that you are accountable.
Absolutely.
Because
absolutely,
you are dealing with a demographic. You are the first one they want to knock off because you're right there in the thick of it. For sure. Hey, they told me pressure is only something that you're not prepared for. And we're prepared, Donnie. That's good. Anything
Preparation is very important.
Anything else you want to get to while we're here?
Hey, we just want to leave with the note of one Baltimore. Please come out to the Praise Tunnel. Support. It's not just about that day and connecting for those scholars that day, but this is a sustainable project, a sustainable engagement that we do. So please register so that we have your information as well. We can connect and reach out after the Praise Tunnel for future engagement, not just a K.E.Y.S engagement, but the engagements that you're running in the community as well. We want to come support you.
Why do you do this?
We do it because it has to be done. I often tell my young people and my parents, I'm the biggest youth in our program, and I think like that, and I keep myself in that mindset because if you know and understand what's needed, then you will always provide those services and fill those gaps.
May God continue to bless you, brother Abdul Salaam. We're proud of the work you're doing, sir.
Likewise, reciprocated, Donnie. We're proud of you and the community, and we appreciate the work that you're doing and the narrative that you so strongly hold up.
Yeah, we got to tell our own story. I'd love to help speak to some future journalists there, get some writing going on, get some shows going on. Maybe we could have K.E.Y.S Development Youth Show right here on this network, no charge.
We would love to reestablish our youth podcast, K.E.Y.S Treasures.
We'd love to feature it right here. No charge at all. We got shows from around the country.
Let's do it, Donnie. I'm serious.
Good stuff. Abdul Salaam, you have a great day, big brother.
Blessings. We'll talk soon. Let's follow up.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace. Dude, make sure you check out K.E.Y.S Development. We got some books. I really want you to check out this book. I'll have some copies tomorrow of I Am Black Wall Street. Fascinating story. Black Wall Street is more than just Tulsa, Oklahoma. Black Wall Street, if you ask me, started in Florida. Started in Florida and then went all the way to Kansas, and then it went to Oklahoma. Every area, anywhere there were black people, and not just in America. I'm talking about Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, the Caribbean, Canada. Wherever there were black people, there was somebody who was an entrepreneur. This is the most recent book, Journeypreneur. I talk about the journey between being a journalist and becoming an entrepreneur. Journeypreneur. Got some pretty, this is the first book I have with some pictures in it of the journey. Met a lot of people along the way, been to the White House about 60 times, been to East Africa, the Middle East. First time in the Middle East was 2002 with Billy Murphy's brother, Arthur Murphy. Of course, the Black Wall Street Awards. And then the first book, Unapologetically Black. So we got a big event coming up in 2 days, or tomorrow, Thursday, over at Terra Cafe. We got a Black Wall Street. We have some honorees. Do go to bemorenews.com for some details. Let me tell you some of the honorees for tomorrow. One is Nicole Earl. She's into real estate, a developer. Another is Chezia Cager, Chris Cage's daughter. We also got Leroy Wilson. I think he's watching the show right now. And Andre Miles. He has Republic of Great Men. So be sure to come on over to Terra Cafe tomorrow. I'm buying one person a fish sandwich. You want a fish sandwich? I'll buy you a fish sandwich tomorrow. But you got to make a comment right here so I know who you are. Or you got to call me, 443-858-2684. I will buy you a fish sandwich. I'm sure somebody will buy me one. That's how you do the circle. Spread it around. That's what Black Wall Street is all about, us helping us. Whether it's K.E.Y.S Development, whether it's St. Martin's Church, whether it's Citywide Youth Development right there on West North Avenue. The next big event will be the Freddie Gray, the Aftermath on April 27th, Sunday, April 27th. We're going to church at Sharon Baptist Church. You will not go to a program like this, not on Freddie Gray. We have the originals. We have the people who were involved, who were on the street, the people who were there. We don't need to mimic or copy anybody. We're going to give you some original content. So make sure you save the date. And come on, let's go to church. My grandma said, Donnie, boy, stop by the church sometime. And on that note, I think that'll be all. We read in the papers and hear on the air of killing and stealing and crime everywhere. We sigh and we say, as we notice the trend, this younger generation, oh, where will it end? But can we be sure that it's their fault alone? Are we less guilty who place in their way so many things that lead them astray? Too much money, too much idle time, too many movies of passion and crime, Too many books not fit to be read, too much evil in what they hear said. Too many children in carriage to roam, and too many parents who won't stay at home. Kids don't write the movies, they don't write the books, they don't paint gay pictures of gangsters and crooks, they don't make the liquor, they don't make the laws, they don't make the cars, they don't make the bars, they don't make the drugs that muddle the brain. It's all done by older folk, greedy for gain. Delinquent teenagers, oh, how we condemn the sins of the nation. We blame on them, but by the laws of the Savior, the blameless made known. Who is there amongst you to cast the first stone? For in so many cases, it's sad, but it's true. The title Delinquent fits older folk too. Good morning, world.